time, Mr. Christopher.
It's getting close.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I haven't seen nobody since Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. We missed you.
We've been out of touch, guys.
It's work season down here for us. For me, you know, just before Christmas is when everybody comes down from up north, families and all, for the photography business. We're at houses doing our photography before the Christmas trees go up, so we get a little break before Christmas. And I know Chris has been working his butt off too.
It definitely heats up. Screens, people want their screens. They want to open their windows, get that nice cool air that we got blowing in.
Everybody comes down from up north and they go, I don't want mosquitoes in my pool cage. So Chris
wants mosquitoes. Mosquitoes are my friend, not yours.
But I tell you, well, fishing has been kind of rough. Fishing has been tough.
It's slow. It's cold. I mean, we got cold front after cold front blowing in here. You guys know it up north if you're watching these videos. It's you know, it's winter time. Fishing's changing. Fish are moving from the beaches. They're coming in. They're going to their haunts. But in the midst of this, it's very cold. The water temperature in our harbor has probably dropped down at least 8 degrees lower than it normally is this time of year.
Yeah, it's cold.
Especially from last year.
It is a big difference. The trout are back, and you could tell when the trout come back in the force that they're coming back that we got some pretty cool water, you know.
We got a good trout bite on, though. I mean, you guys like to catch trout. You get one after another.
And if you don't like to catch trout one after another, you're still gonna catch them there.
Yeah, I mean they get to be fun after a while, but you know, there's a lot of variety in our area. So you're gonna see in these videos today how different areas in Charlotte County and around our area are capable of catching a lot of good fish.
Well, it is pretty neat. I just got a skiff. Chris took me for a ride. He was kind of taking me on a tour through the Myakka cutoff and showing me around some waterways. It's been, 30 years since I actually got behind the wheel of a boat and called myself Captain Frank. So I didn't want to end up calling Tow USA right off the bat.
Tow Chris Taylor.
Tow Chris USA.
Yeah, because USA won't come get you in the cutoff.
They don't know their way around it like Chris does. So Chris took me for a nice little tour, showed me around, and we did some fishing over in Rotunda, went into the lock system, and very cool. I mean, I had a great time. I caught a little snook in there. I believe Justin caught a bass in there.
Oh my gosh, me and Justin catch a lot of nice fish in there, and I got to, after Frank left, he had to leave. He had to go get Bridget. He's a good boy. He's on time or he's out of touch. You know what I'm saying? So after you left, me and Justin sat there for a minute, and he's like, you know, what are we gonna do? I said, why don't we just, you know, sit there. We'll have a sandwich, whatever. We were fishing along for a while, and before we left, I just turned around and I cast the rod, my new rod and reel that I have, and I handed it to Justin. I said, you gotta check this thing out. It's so light, right? And he's huge red.
Oh,
huge red.
Oh, wow.
Boom! No video. I went to go put the video on. The camera had turned off. We had no more power, no more video. So maybe he'll get the clip of the video where the video turned on and off within like a second. But what an explosion! And then they got our juices flowing again. And then we went back down. We ended up boating a couple 4-pound bass without the camera on, which I was not too happy about, and a couple quality reds that were out there. And I was like,
now, were you running the sand flats where the cattails are there? Or
yeah,
the whole run down there?
Well, you know what? South Gulf Cove, guys, has a lot of bank system and a lot of water. You can go throughout that thing way deep.
It's pretty wild.
Under the bridges,
yeah.
You know, there's got bridge structure for all you guys that like to throw against the bridges. You got seawalls for miles in there that you can throw against.
Well, you know, it's the variety. Inside of Rotunda, they have a private lock system that the residents, for the most part, you know, maintain and pay for. And what it does is it cuts off the Rotunda waterway from the rest of Charlotte Harbor and the west wall. But if you go down the McCall sand flats, which are just along that whole, that is the north end of the west wall, that is that wall that separates Rotunda from Charlotte Harbor. Now, there's some creeks, like tidal creeks, where the salt water will overflow. There's a lot of them going through there.
There's a bunch.
So you get some big snook and big reds mixed in with big bass in there. It was awesome.
I've been fishing South Gulf Cove since I've been a little kid, so I've got at least, I'm gonna say, 30 plus years of fishing South Gulf Cove. I know this area really well, where some people don't want to go back in there. They look at it as, ooh, that's fresh water, ooh, that's salt, well, whatever. They don't know what it is. But I can tell you right now, I fished out there 3 nights a week as a kid, from probably like 11 years old to like 16 years old, 3 nights a week, any given week, and we would be catching stringerfuls of 3 and 4 pound bass, And in the midst of all that, all of a sudden, boom, a 15-pound snook would come along and just trash you. Back in the day, we had mono, and it would just, it would trash you. Bye-bye lure. You'd be like, that's my $3 lure, darn.
Back then, right?
three times three now. But yes, South Gulf Cove has a lot of good things to go out there.
Well, there's a couple of very unique things that really make it special for Charlotte Harbor. Number one, there is no tidal flow, so there's not a high or a low tide. So it maintains about the same, and it is very deep as far as you know.
You guys can take any one of your boats in there. You can take a yacht in there if you want to. It's got depth.
And the second thing is that because it's waterlocked, big fish come in, and there are no sharks. There's not, at least not many predators in there that are going to eat them. So you end up with gigantic snook eating bass, eating redfish eating bass. I wouldn't be surprised what's in there because of the overflow and the lock system. But one thing you have to remember when you are going in there, there is a lot of traffic. So on the weekends, be careful. The lock system's busy.
Just watch out, guys. Their canal, I got some video on there. I don't know if Frankie will put it on there of me driving down the canal that's past the lock. So I just took a little bit of video of that to show you some of the way. But just be careful in there, because there's guys with big Land Cruiser boats in there that are going hauling butt through there, and just watch yourself as you're getting out there. That's why I like to go out into the lake and fish, because then you sort of get away from the boat traffic a little bit. Or you can go back in the canals. Canals are no wake. So you can go back in the canals and fish, and boom.
Now, what were we using out there? We were using the electric chicken. I got a little bat or a little snook on the electric chicken, the Strike King electric chicken.
Yeah.
Great color. Used the, actually, Chris hooked me up with the Strike King jig heads for the electric chicken that pulled around, so I used.
It's definitely the Strike King jig head and Strike King tail. That what we call the glass minnow,
right?
Yeah,
the glass minnow.
It's called a glass minnow, and it's the chicken color, which is the electric chicken color, and it's a green and pink. And look at your colors too when you go buy them. I mean, if the color looks really green and pink and stuff like that, it doesn't look natural. Go through the bags a little bit. Look at the colors that sort of it's plastic. They mix them and stuff. Some bags get pinker, some bags get greener.
I didn't realize it. Chris mentioned it, and I was at Walmart the other day, and I'm down at Strike King, and you got to look for them because Chris hides them when he goes there, so that people don't steal all. Don't buy all of his.
I don't let Frank tell you.
You got to look.
That's another fisherman out there, guys.
But he was right. I went through. I set all the bags next to each other on the shelf, and some did have a darker green bottom. Some were a light lime green. So the way they mold them, they are different bag to bag. And I did like Chris did, and I picked the greenest ones on the bottom out that had the pink line in it, and
you got to go with what you feel is your go-to. And I have a sort of a go-to color in that. I mean, you might pick up a pinker one and say, "Oh, that's my go-to," or whatever. It's whatever works for you. But I will tell you this: on top of all of what we do with that, the Procure, we would stop. We would stop and put a drop of Procure on, and the next cast, bam!
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, wow. So maybe those other 3 casts, they were following it, but they weren't just banging it. But as soon as you stop and put that little bit of scent on there, the fish were attacking it.
It was, I mean, I've been using the blue crab for probably all this year. I've been using blue crab, and only because up here in Charlotte Harbor, there's blue crabs every place. I don't care what fish that you want to catch, snook, reds, what, they're looking for blue crabs. So it's been good. I know Chris uses everything.
Chris calls it butt juice.
He's got the mix of everything.
No, it's on the shelf. It's called butt juice, but I take all my flavors that I like and I put them all in one bottle and mix it up and just squirt it on there.
And it works. So
it does.
And it does. So yeah, we did really good. We're going to go to some video. Chris really got some great video. Now you were out there with your dad too, you said?
Oh yeah. We're going to show you video, all kinds of stuff. But my dad got to come to town and visit us for Christmas and stuff, and that was good. That's probably why you haven't seen us a lot for the videos. My family's, we just had 52 of us in our intermediate family. Just a little family, you know. But hey,
keep in mind that Chris Taylor was born in Taylor County, Kentucky, which means there's a lot of Taylors in this family.
Yeah, just Taylors rule the world. No, it's good old English name. So me and my dad got to spend some time, and we went to 9 Mile, and excellent time. We had a good time. And then 9 Mile is a place where you can get out and do some freshwater fishing. There's crappie, there's bass. Take some shiners from up there at
Rogers
Fine Bait and Tackle. Go over there and get some shiners and head down there and just drift them down the canal. There's lots of crappie, lots of bass, lots of nice ones. You'll see on the video. I mean, there's some quality fish up there, so.
That's nice. And you know, all those canal systems in the back of Northport, back of Port Charlotte, back here off Price, and I mean, they're just really great waterways. They're packed full of fish. And back in the day, you can catch nice bass. Now, like you said, there's nice crappie in there, nice bluegill. You get nice bass, and just beautiful fishing in there.
I didn't even think about it too. That I got some video when the boy came to town. Since it was Christmas, me and the boy went out to a place called Bird Lake, which is we call the Bird Lakes, which is in the very back of Rotunda as you're heading to Boca Grande. The bird section, we'll call it. There's a very back lake back there that has a boat ramp that you can get into, and it's gorgeous. It's full of snook. It's full of, maybe he'll even show a picture of one of our new guys on staff there, Justin. Justin has a really nice snook back there. We call Justin an old land boy because, you know.
He's landlocked. We're going to have a segment called Landlocked with Justin. The guy catches huge fish. He loves to fish the piers, docks, beachside. So he's a good fisherman. So you'll be meeting Justin.
This is Collin's childhood friend. They grew up fishing together. They fish together in all the tournaments and stuff. They are definitely the fishing partners. So.
Well, see, Collin's been avoiding the camera here. Now, we got some great video of him fishing. He's a hell of a fisherman, but we're going to get him on the show.
We're
going to get you, Collin.
Maybe we'll get him in the kitchen. We'll bring a camera into the kitchen where he spends his 14 hours a day in the Italian kitchen.
We'll put the refrigerator cam in and we'll catch him opening the door.
Hey, Mario, where's Collin?
But we're going to go to that video so you guys can check it out. Chris, he's got Dad, he's got Justin, he's got me out in the Rotunda locks and doing some fishing. And
you guys will see it all. It's the holidays.
So we had I had a great time out there, and we come back, we're going to do a little fishing report about Charlotte Harbor. We're going to go over a little stuff in the Myakka cutoff, the West Wall, Pirate Harbor. Even got some new stuff coming up. I just talked to Tom Fisher. He's got a couple of new boats. He's coming into the north end of Charlotte Harbor. He's going to be fishing the rivers. So we're going to be doing a segment of fishing up the rivers with Tom, and
there you go.
Some great stuff coming up. So we'll be right back. Check out this video, man. Chris, thank you, sir. And I'm going to get some coffee.
It's time for some coffee, Frank.
Now open in Sarasota, West Wall Boats, kayak experts selling the only pedal kayaks with a reverse, pedal forward or backwards. Need a paddle fishing board, SUP, or kayak? You need West Wall Boats, shallow water outfitters. Comfort is king. In a native ultimate angler watercraft, you are king. If standing is your thing, they have paddle fishing boards complete with a Yeti. If you can dream about doing it, West Wall can help get you there. WestWallBoats.com. WestWallBoats.com. Located next to Giggles on Tamiami Trail, Sarasota.
What do we got here, folks? Mr. Striper. Mr. Line Stripers. How you doing, mister? I know. I'll help you out here in a second. You were so good. You were so good. You didn't want to give me my bait back, did you? Got a snook! You good little dancer. Come up here and show the camera what you say. What you got to say to the camera? I like the pink jig. I like it. Thumped it.
Thumped it, huh?
Thumped it. No play. No play. No playing. We thumped it. What you got there, Mr. Justin? Ooh, what do we got here, folks? What do we got? Oh, it's a
bass.
It's a bass, folks. There we go. Hey, it's the variety show. This lure catches it all, folks. I don't care what you say. You ain't gonna get better than this lure. do we got here now? Oh boy. Little blue tail. What a cutie. What a cute fish. Look at that blue in that tail. Let me see that thing a little closer here. Show the camera that thing. Look at that blue in that tail. That is so cute.
Hey, that's my most spots on redfish.
All right, Justin's not. He's got the snook. Oh, what is it? Oh, he's got a snook. That's the second snook today, Frankus. Just the beginning, folks. Time. Nice. Nice. There we go, folks. Wake up with Mr. Snooky. He's all happy. Cute little snook. That water's awful chilly today too. I'll take this. I thought he hit it good. I hit that pipe and jumped over that pipe and I stalled it and he whacked it.
Oh, you want to hold him?
No, he's good. There we go. We got one now, folks.
What's he, about 2 pounder?
He's a nice one. He's a little cold though, don't he?
Yeah.
He had a good start there though.
That sucker, I mean, he jumped plumb out of the water out into the canal. But he was in the very back end, wasn't he?
No, he was actually sitting out on that point.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. I reeled that thing off there and he sucked it down. There we go. Get him up on top so I can see some dancing. Quality fish though. Bring him up here. That's good enough. There we go. Like a redfish. There we go. I gotta get back in there right in the same spot there. Nice. Oh, there it is. Nice blue tail too. Look at that blue tail again.
Redfish. I love blue tail.
I know, they're pretty in here though. They are pretty. They have such nice color in here. You guys all know about the jig, folks. Daddy don't lie about the jig. Hold that thing up there, Justin. Let's get some FaceTime on that bad boy here. There we go. Not serious now. Very nice though, huh? Let's see what we got here. Nice, about 8 pounds. Good job. What you got there, Justin? Look like a nice trout. There you go. Get a little better. There you go. Yeah, gotta be 15. All right, throw it on the boat deck a couple times. Another trout, folks. You just can't believe it. Even cold days, we still get fish. And always get Mr. Shaky Head. Come up here and tell him what you're thinking about there, mister. What? I like the pink jig and I cannot lie. I like the pink jig. I like it a lot. I might have to get this one on some. Whoa, that's a big. That's a trout. That's a keeper. Dang, son. I like this one, Frankus. Heck yeah. I'd say 18 inches maybe. 15, 18 inches, I don't know. Let me put him on the tape so I can get better at guessing them here. All I know is he fought. You know? He actually fought pretty good that time. A trout that fought. Oh, damn.
19?
He's 18. What do we got here, folks? Oh, Shaky Head. Exactly, guys. I don't tell you right there. I hadn't got a fish all day until I put that Procure on there. Folks, it's one after another. Justin. He's on the May. I think we know what we're doing. We got to change our policy here. We got to cast away from the shore. And then boom, first cast. First cast. He's not a big one, but he's a fishy. There we go. Justin's found him a nice trout here, folks. That's a little nicer one. Wow. Getting a little bit bigger. That's what we're looking for. Nice action there, Justin. Say hello to your little friend. Go. Papa's got him a fish.
He hammered that thing.
Well, you better watch out. You're on that rod there, Papa. Crank him down.
It won't.
Crank him. Crank him hard.
No, I can't.
No?
This clutch slips.
Oh, really?
Now it don't.
There you go. Papa got him a nice bass.
He hammered it when he hit.
That's
And then when I hit it, the clutch was so loose that it just slipped. So I didn't get skunked.
Yeah, well, you're not.
You got a net?
I don't need it. I could just tell it was a little nicer bass right there.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, a little nicer.
Wait, I got it waiting down or not?
He thumped it. He thumped it. This is the size we've been catching out here.
That's a good size.
Uh-huh. You wasn't going nowhere, Papa.
I seen where you had him hooked. And he went through that top.
Feel the hook. Wiggle it.
It's in, out, and
In again.
yeah.
He wasn't going nowhere.
You can turn him loose and eat each other sandwiches.
Well, these Gamakatsus, these hooks are bad to the bone.
They're advertised as the best.
I can tell you right now, as a fisherman, they are. That's a nice little healthy bass right there.
What's that, my 2.5 pounder?
Yeah. That's what I say. That's what we've been catching. That one thumped it too.
Boat, so he gave Frankie a boat.
Oh, I was just
Then
outside.
along came Eve. No.
I was showing Chris my new old boat. I went down to Everglades City and picked up a skiff. And so we're having some fun now, getting it fixed up, ready to fish. And it's ready to fish.
What
but,
a steal.
Good deal.
I'm telling you, what a great boat. It's nice.
I waited 6 months, look, this one came up. I called the guy, I'm like, is this thing on fire? Is there a big hole in the middle? Is the engine blown? I mean, what's the deal with this? And he's like, nah, man, I just need to get rid of it.
Can't get nobody to come to Everglades City to
It's
go
a
get
long
something.
ride.
It's a long drive down there, and most people don't want to go down there and get blown off the side of the road.
That's the truth, and I did. But that was some awesome video. Rotunda, tell me about that, man. It's
Well, in the videos you're going to see, first you're going to probably see some videos of me and my dad fishing up in 9 Mile. That right there is just some good time. Bass fishing, that's what we were doing. And you know, my dad had hurt his hamstring, so I had him sitting down and just trying to keep him comfortable and going down the canals. But it was freezing cold, okay? I mean, for some reason, Dad came to town and in comes the Arctic North, you know? It was pretty cold, so, but we still ended up catching some pretty decent fish. And then the next video you're gonna be seeing is probably a clip, maybe a clip from me and Collin fishing out there in Bird Lake and Rotunda. That right there is a nice open lake. A lot of people go out there and go skiing and stuff. People camp out there on the weekends and ski and ride their four-wheelers and stuff around out there. But them lakes out there have snook, they have bass, they have a little bit of everything going on. They're really deep. They're cut like this, guys. They go off, they go down, and they go in like this, like it was a shell pit or something like that. I think that's what they were cut for, was shell pits. But they go out about 20 feet off the bank, and then they drop down to 14 feet. So that ledge all the way around that outside lake is awesome.
nice little drop with
It's
a
got
big fish leg.
cattails, it's got grass, it's got all kinds of stuff. We run crankbaits out there so we can get down in those ledges and stuff. But nice big chunky bass, you'll see that. Had a good time with the boy.
Now, what are you using out on? You were out at 9 Mile. What are you using for bait out there? You going with the rubber worm, the blue? What are you playing with?
9 Mile, I was strictly, what was I was fishing a purple worm, I'm pretty sure is what we were fishing, and a Cinco's. They really like the Cinco's up there, and like I said, they like the shiners, you know? I mean, me and Dad weren't doing it because we like to throw the lures, just like me and Frankie.
Sure.
But my voice is going, guys. I told him, it's going to be tough, man.
It's the cold air that brings the sore throats.
I've been fighting it back all weekend. But no, we were throwing Cinco's. We were throwing, I think maybe I was throwing some crawdads too. That might have been what I was throwing up there, was crawdads.
Is that the crankbait, the crawdad?
No, these are just plastics. I love throwing plastics for bass because that's where I've caught a lot of my biggest fish. And a little tidbit about 9 Mile, when I first moved back to Port Charlotte,
my parents lived in Northport, Charlotte. We were one of the only houses up there. My dad was a contractor back in the day, and that's where we lived. So I lived on that canal. So it's, I've been around here a long time.
Oh yeah, that area. It's an old waterway. It's great fishing.
It's wide. It's deep. It's not as deep as it used to be, but it's definitely got a lot of fish in it.
Using the garlic scent, freshwater.
Most definitely. That razor bait stuff that the guy gave us, man. That stuff stinks crazy.
It is. It's very. Matter of fact, we've used razor baits. Their garlic scent is very strong. It's very effective, and caught a lot of bass with that razor scent on just about every bait we sprayed it on.
Yeah, I tried his the garlic razor bait scent against something, I think a lunker sauce with a crawdad flavor, and every time the garlic, when I would spray the garlic, or that garlic oil so strong, it must be Italian bass.
I was going to say,
it must be some Italian bass.
Two things you could catch is bass and guineas if you're using the garlic spray. but it does work good. Razor baits does have a great product. Even their baits, all their baits that they make, their soft baits are flavored with that.
It's time, guys. I'm getting ready to head to the lakes.
We're going to take a trip out to Okeechobee here pretty soon and do some serious bass fishing. So we'll probably give Jim a call and get some razor baits here, and they're very effective.
Show you guys what's up in the big O.
Oh man, that'd be sweet. But now you said that you took Collin into Rotunda.
Yeah, Rotunda. Now as you're going out there to Placida, or Boca Grande is what we call, the road turns. It has a bend on 771. It has a bend. Right where it bends, there's a boat storage place on the left right there. You'll see it. There's some storage area on the left. I think Southern Sands or White Sands.
Yep.
The divisions over there. But if you turn left back there, there's like 4 or 5 lakes. Now, the residents, they don't really want you back there. Sometimes they do get a little annoyed. But I've talked to many of the police and the wildlife officers back in that area. There's no statute says we can't be back there. They do post signs, guys, that say no fishing and stuff like that towards the developed areas in Rotunda. But the reality of it is, there's no law that says you can't fish it. Mm-hmm. You're a taxpayer, and they really can't arrest you. They will harass you and tell you to leave.
You're going to get that. I don't care what community you go into. You're going to have people that simply don't want anybody there that doesn't live there. Honestly, I like to go out and have a good time fishing, so I just avoid that. I'll find a fun place where I could have a good time and not have to argue with people, but it does happen. So
if they do come up on these people, just kill them with kindness. Honestly,
be nice
just kill them with kindness and just tell them have a nice day or whatever. Don't try to get into a match with them. Just it's their it is their property, and to some extent, it's their community, but they need to share a little bit. If you're going out there practicing good techniques out there, you're not throwing trash on the ground. And you're not ripping up donuts or something on the side. You just pull off the side of the road, you cast some lures, maybe you take your kids out there. That's how I grew up, running around fishing areas and stuff. Me and my dad would clip from water to waterway. There's lots of water in Charlotte County, guys. It's everywhere. So you can get out there with your pole and jump out of the truck and hit a couple spots and then move down to the next spot.
Keep hitting.
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, the stop and drop is where I got my largest bass.
Sure, absolutely.
I got 11-pound, 6-ounce bass. Jumped out and dad.
Burnstorm Marine, the biggest bass I ever caught was one of those lakes going through Burnstorm Gardens in the back. One of those overflow lakes. It's fresh water. Big, beautiful bass. I actually catch snook in those lakes too because of those drain pipes that backfill. But I'll tell you what, I was out in the Myakka cutoff. We went out to the West Wall. We've been all over Charlotte County the past couple of weeks. It has been some tough fishing. There's just no big fish seems to be coming. I look through Facebook. Nobody's posting big fish.
It's cold.
Billy Barton posted big fish. He always posts big fish. He was in there yesterday, a couple of gigantic reds. He had some charters out, but he's, Billy is just
when you know
he's a legend.
Listen, when you know your water, you can still go catch fish. Like with me. You might not catch me in the same spot in the wintertime. I know how to move. What you got to do is you got to learn how to move, and that's what this segment's about. We're teaching you, the day me and Justin went out, there was this much water, okay? And the wind was blowing hard out of the north. It was not an ideal fishing day. I told him, I said, well, I got an idea. Let's go into South Gulf Cove, where the depth of the water is 6 to 8 foot in there. And I happen to know where probably like 20 some odd tidal creeks, if you go into South Gulf Cove, the whole left wall all the way down is all got tidal creeks going through there like left and right.
It's where all the cattails line up along the sand flats.
Cattails, you got mangroves. And the one hint I will give you is if there was any breaks in the cattails, okay? There's solid cattails. If there was a break in the cattails where it looked like you could walk through it, look out, because that's where some of the biggest fish came from. Hey guys, my biggest red ever to date comes from South Gulf Cove.
Sweet.
It chased me back through the cattails, busted me, went back through the cattails. Luckily, I was by myself and I just ran my boat right through the cattails and went after him, and then just jumped out of the boat and just started walking behind the cattails after him. But it was huge.
Oh yeah, they do get big, but it's, that's probably about the only place I've seen producing big fish in the past couple of weeks. I went out on the west wall with Bridget one morning. Went out with my dad the morning before that. And I mean, there was a couple of stingrays. There wasn't a fish to be seen, not a porpoise out there. You know what it was? We had about a week where the water just didn't move. We had those really slight variations.
No tide. All winds out of the northeast.
Yeah, it kept everything shallow out here in Charlotte Harbor. So cold.
Temperature dropped down 8 degrees colder than it's supposed to be. Fish just took a vacation.
So we did. I mean, there's just nothing out there. We moved into the Myakka cutoff on the Peace River side. Got a lot of trout along the, those troughs up there along the mangroves. A lot of trout in there.
Yeah.
But
if you get in the Myakka cutoff and you want to catch some trout, or just in general right now in our area, find yourself about 3 foot of water with a little mixed grass and sand, and you're going to find trout.
Oh, we did pretty good.
Line.
Well, Bridget was using the Daniels Deceiver, the 202 T-top water. She got a couple of trout. I was using the electric chicken.
Trout were hitting the top water. So that's when you know the trout are on fire, when they start coming up and firing up that top water.
Well, we hit those troughs, those little troughs, and as soon as you found one of those little holes, Chris showed me along those mangroves on the Hog Island side of the cutoff, as you really get into some nice fish in those troughs, and that's where we found them. And actually, we even went down to Alligator Creek and down to Pirate Harbor. Now, there's a lot of trout all over those flats. I know you caught some flounder out there too.
We have a 14, 15-inch flounder being caught up there this week, and really, really hefty trout up in the Pirate Harbor area.
Well, it's great. You get up to from Redfish Key right down to Burnstorm Marine and the whole Pirate Harbor area. Those flats in there, I mean, the really grassy flats are filled with gigantic trout. Biggest trout I ever caught was right there in one of the canals in Pirate Harbor, trolling a Johnson Spray. And so it's just loaded with trout. And if you get on the edge of the shoals that run along that whole length going down to Burnstorm Marina, flounder all over there. I mean, you're going to find flounder all over there.
What they're trying to say right now is, if you guys know Pirate Harbor, there's a cut in the bar in Pirate Harbor where the bar comes along, and there's a break in the bar, and then the bar continues. And it sort of lines up sort of equally with Boca Grande Pass. So the pass comes in and blew a hole through the bar. That's where the bigger fish are located, right in that area, with the flounder are laid up in that area. What was somebody else who said? Justin and his boys love to fish the east wall, and said they're getting multiple juvies on the east wall on lure.
Oh, sure. Well, it's loaded up. That whole area is great breeding grounds for fish. They can get up in the islands and find a lot of crabs to eat, a lot of fiddler crabs, rock crabs that are breeding up there in the mangrove roots. So, there's plenty of food, plenty of fresh water. But as winter goes on, it gets thinner and thinner and more shallow in there. So it is hard to get up around there and do any fishing. But, definitely get out there. Alligator Creek, Ponce de Leon Park, that whole area, the flats out there are giving up a lot of trout. Honestly, the bite has not been really on for the big reds and the snook or anything.
You've got to slow down. It's cold.
Slow it down.
Go ahead and let's drop down on our leader size. Let's go down to like 20-pound test.
Light leaders.
Let's go with something about that long on your fluorocarbon, 3 foot at least, so that way you get a little bit of distance between your actual line and the bait. Drop the weight down, slow your presentation down, let it sit in the column a little bit longer, but definitely use shrimp imitation baits in the winter, because they're eating on crustaceans right now. They're going to be eating on crab, they're going to be eating shrimp, they're going to be eating things that are going bump, because the bait has left the area. I mean, it's cold enough now, there's not very much bait at all.
There are a lot of crabs. I was out there on the flats, and one thing I did see were a lot of blue crabs. So even if you could scoop up a blue crab and break it in half and use a corner of it, the redfish still love that. Now, I'll tell you what, at, they used to call it, I think they used to call it Pirates Cut, that area outside of Ponce de Leon that used to be the overflow canal going into the back of PGI that they cut off.
They call that the barge canal.
The barge canal, a lot of big reds. A couple of guys were in there on high tide. As soon as it peaks high tide and the water really gushes in for the last of it, the big reds come off the flats and move in there. So I've been seeing a lot of the guys hitting the mouths of that area.
PGI canals, guys, in the wintertime, let's get real. Don't let those guys tell you you can't be in there fishing that water. Just get on your trolling motor, stay moving.
Keep moving.
You can't anchor. You can't anchor up in there. They get a little.
Yeah, don't
and
anchor.
you will have a group of boats in there that will come along and tell you we have to check everything on your boat. Just tell them no, thank you. Tell them that you're having a pleasant day without them boarding your boat, and that you don't need them on your boat. Tell them good day. You know, they're just out there to harass you while you're fishing because they don't want you there.
Yeah, you know, it's going to happen. I mean, even Rotunda, when you come in through the locks, there's a big sign that says the Rotunda Waterway Neighborhood Watch.
Yeah, I know. It's a group of old guys. You'll know them right away. They'll be in the 65 category, and they'll be wanting to get in your boat, and they're going to help you. And as you know, they're basically trying to help you with making sure you have all your elements on the boat, your life vest, your horns, and all that stuff. But to me, guys, you need to have that together before you get on the water anyway.
Sure. Nobody wants some idiot getting on their boat telling them what to do. So it always ends up in a bad way. Better off just to walk away from it. You know, you don't want to feed anybody your lures and fishing pole. So we to avoid. But you know, when you get into some of these waterways, you know, take your time. You know, don't anchor in them. You're in PGI. I'm going in there with Dad next week. We're going to go get some sheephead, we're going to get some sand brim, we're going to get some snapper.
Definitely. So, the pink jig is going to be electric in there.
So PGI, we're coming into your canal, into the waterways, probably going into Colony Point.
And the pink jig.
You got that right, and the little guys, so we get the sheephead. And so we're going to have a good time since hey, you know what, since the snook and the redfish aren't being too cooperative, and I'm tired of catching trout, we're going to go hunt some sheep's head, we're going to hunt some snapper, and some, Dad loves sand brim, I love sand brim, so we're going to get a couple of those, and you know, we'll get some video of it. There's some great fishing in
back to the, you know, guys, tough fishing. At least the fishing is steady back in South Gulf Cove, okay? Because of the water temperature dropping so quickly in the harbor, South Gulf Cove has the maintained depth. Doesn't drop so quickly in there. The water was definitely, as soon as we were in the cutoff, touched the water on the port solid side of the cutoff for a reason. Cool. We went to the other side of the cutoff after I took Frank through and showed him the door. It was a little bit warmer, and then we went over into South Gulf Cove, reached down, touched that water. I could have swam in it.
Yeah,
I mean, it changed that much in temperature. But as you'll see in these videos, we got 4-pound bass. I mean, we got nice bass. We got nice red and nice snook, all in the same area, all on the same cheap lure. Guys, I just bought it last night at Walmart. You got $5.39, gives you a full pack of hooks, of Strike King hooks, and a full pack of glass minnow tails. And walk over to the automotive section and get you the $1 pack of super glue. And for under $7, I don't even know what lure on the shelf you guys are talking to me about. But for under $7, you got multiple lures.
Yeah, ready to go.
Ready to go.
Yeah. And they work well. I mean,
they don't work well. They work great.
They work great.
Don't play.
We've taken them from all over Charlotte Harbor, from even fresh brackish water. We caught snook, reds. I've caught snapper on them. We caught flounder on them. We caught bass, cobia. I can't think of any fish out here that Chris hasn't caught on this electric chicken Strike King.
It takes it. I mean, I can't wait to take it offshore and go to somebody's offshore boat and go out there and try messing around some of those rigs and stuff out there. I bet you would thump. But I will tell you guys this, in the wintertime, Justin, our landlocked Justin, is fishing the whitehead Strike King with the white tail. And he's using a mullet scent, and he is also catching. So, color can switch it up in this crystal clear water that we're experiencing.
Sure.
Very clear water. Sometimes that white clear water works out good.
It's not quite as bright.
I like to fish the stained water. When I fish, I love dirty water. It helps me out. It's a little camouflage for me.
Yeah, it works. It hides the leader, hides the line, so it definitely works better. But yeah, I tell you what, folks, get out and go fishing. We got Christmas coming up. Again, Merry Christmas. You guys get together with your families and friends.
Go buy some lures, guys.
Get some lures, man. Get danielsdeceivers.com. Check out some lures
great
there.
Gifts.
We got all kinds. Actually, go to our website. You go to any of their websites and check it out. We got bankslures.com. We got impactlures.com. We got MrWiffleLure.com. We got razorbaits.com. I mean, they're great, fantastic Florida-made baits. They're handmade, most of them, the wood baits like Daniel's Deceivers, handmade right here. Bill actually donated all this to us, these cool reels to put out here to check out. This sucker's probably older than I am. Isn't that awesome?
I will tell you this, I know Bill likes to do this kind of stuff for Christmas.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
Now this is Bill's
the back
deal.
scratcher. Oh, that's cool. Well, what Bill does, like, let's say you catch a gigantic trophy snook that you love, you get a nice picture of it, and this is actually the
He'll give you the lure that you're catching on with the back scratcher.
Yes.
So while you're back scratching, you'll be like, remember that big
that gigantic snook I got with it. And he actually has even a can opener he makes with it too, so you get
might as well get a can opener because you got to open a can opener while you're talking about your big fish, huh?
But cool stuff. Check it out, danielsdeceivers.com. Like I said, we got some cool stuff coming up. We got Justin coming up, Landlocked. We're gonna be talking about, he'll be a man on the pier.
You're gonna show that one picture of the snook from Justin.
Big snook, yep. Justin called that
Justin
monster.
got that one out there in those bird lakes, guys, out back in Rotunda.
The back of Rotunda.
Yeah, he just walks around them because you can fish all the way around those lakes. There's nothing in your way.
So you
can just cast. You got open cast in those lakes.
So check it out. Again, I talked to Tom earlier, so we're going to be doing a show with Tom's Charter Business up here up the Peace River, the Myakka. He's got a couple of boats he's bringing in. The first of the year, great stuff. Tom's a legend here in Charlotte County. His father taught me how to dive. Probably taught most everybody how to dive and fish or something one way or another.
So you guys end up using it for, you won't be sorry.
Excellent trotter captain. I mean, he's one of those guys on Facebook that are always on fish, like Billy. I mean, like Dwayne French. I mean, these guys are always on fish. They've been around forever and know the water out here better than I know my own house. So should be some pool shows coming up. So tune in and.